I had it all. The seven-figure bank account, the tech founder title, and a life that looked perfect on paper. The penthouse with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city, the European sports car, the phone buzzing with a constant stream of revenue alerts. I had made it. I'd won the game society tells us is the only one worth playing. So why did I feel so empty? I'd spent a decade, my entire 30s, grinding. I sacrificed sleep, relationships, and my own well-being to build a fortune. And I succeeded. But standing in my perfectly curated life, one thought hit me like a tidal wave. My money couldn't buy back the one thing I had completely lost, myself. You've hit the milestone. Maybe it's not seven figures yet, but you're climbing. Your bank account proves the hard work is paying off. But let's be brutally honest for a second. You still miss breakfast with your kids. You're exhausted, even when you get a full night's sleep. That doctor's appointment is a year overdue, isn't it? What did you really buy with all that effort, freedom, or just a fancier, more demanding to-do list? In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you what science and hard-won experience taught me about the 3 pillars of real wealth, and how to build a life that's not just rich on paper, but rich in every sense of the word. Section 1. The problem and the agitation. The gilded cage of success. Let's talk about the paradox of being driven. The very things that make us successful, ambition, perfectionism, a relentless work ethic, are the same things that can march us straight into burnout. For years, I wore my exhaustion like a badge of honor. Waking up at 4 a.m. to answer emails? Commitment. Skipping lunch to close a deal? Dedication. I wasn't a person, I was a machine, optimized for one thing and one thing only, growth. And it worked. The company scaled, breaking the seven-figure barrier and then some. But with that success came the golden handcuffs. It's a term for the perks and financial incentives that make it feel impossible to leave a job, no matter how miserable it makes you. My handcuffs weren't just a big salary. They were stock options vesting over years, bonuses tied to ever higher targets, a lifestyle that was just intoxicatingly comfortable. I had built myself a beautiful cage, with bars made of pure gold. But a cage is still a cage. The psychological grip of these handcuffs is intense. They don't trap you with force, but with the fear of loss. You start thinking, I can't leave now, I'll lose my unvested shares, or, if I slow down, I'll miss that promotion. It's a state of constant, low-grade anxiety, where your motivation is no longer about joy, but about avoiding financial pain. That isn't freedom. It's high-stakes servitude. And the price was steep. The agitation wasn't just a feeling, it became physical. I started dealing with chronic exhaustion, a bone-deep weariness that no amount of sleep could fix. I had persistent headaches, digestive issues, and was just mentally drained all the time. I remember this one Tuesday afternoon. I was sitting in my state-of-the-art office, looking at a spreadsheet showing a record-breaking quarter. My phone buzzed. It was a picture from my sister of my nephew scoring his first soccer goal. And in that moment, staring at the glowing numbers on my screen, I felt nothing. The win felt hollow. The joy in that photo felt like it was from another universe. That's when the agitation turned into a quiet terror. I had become emotionally numb, disconnected from my own life. High achievers, especially founders and executives, are incredibly vulnerable to this. The perfectionism that drives us also makes us believe we can handle an impossible workload. We tell ourselves the sacrifice is temporary. I'll rest after this launch. I'll spend time with family after we close this funding round. But the finish line keeps moving. You're just running harder and harder on a treadmill, only to find yourself in the exact same spot, just more exhausted than when you started. This is the dark side of scaling a business. You hit your revenue goals, but the operational complexity explodes. The scaling phase is notoriously difficult, and many businesses crumble under the weight of their own growth, not from a lack of ambition, but from overwhelming complexity. You're so busy managing the machine you've built, you forget why you built it. Section 2. The turning point and the science of misery. My turning point wasn't some big, dramatic event. It was a slow dawning horror that ended in a doctor's office. I'd gone in for a routine checkup, mostly to get my family off my back. I felt invincible. I was 38, a millionaire, on top of my game. But the numbers on the medical report told a very different story. High blood pressure. Dangerously high cortisol levels. The doctor's message was blunt. My lifestyle was causing my body to break down so fast, I was on a collision course with a major health crisis before I even hit 45. Chronic stress, he explained, can literally accelerate the biological aging process. That's when everything started to change. My journey out of that burnout-fueled nightmare led me to obsessively research the science of why I was so miserable. What I found was both liberating and deeply unsettling. I had become a living, breathing case study for a psychological phenomenon known as the hedonic treadmill, or hedonic adaptation. The theory is elegantly simple and brutally true. Humans quickly return to a stable level of happiness, despite major positive or negative life events. You get a raise, buy a new car, or hit a massive financial goal, and you get a spike in happiness. But that joy is temporary. The thrill fades, and that new, higher level of luxury becomes your new normal. You adapt. And once you've adapted, you need an even bigger hit of success just to feel that same level of happiness again. My entire life was a hedonic treadmill. This led me to the second pillar of my misery, the myth that more money equals more happiness. Research has consistently shown this is only true up to a point. For years, a landmark study by Nobel laureates Daniel Kahneman and Angus Deaton suggested emotional well-being stops increasing significantly after about $75,000 a year, a figure that's higher today with inflation. Now, more recent research has added a fascinating twist. A 2023 adversarial collaboration between Kahneman and researcher Matthew Killingsworth found that for most people, happiness does continue to rise with income, even up to $500,000 a year. But, and this is the crucial part, they found an exception. For the unhappiest group of people, the curve flattens out dramatically around $100,000. After that, more money does little to ease their misery. Because their unhappiness comes from things money can't fix, like heartbreak, grief, or burnout. I was in that unhappy group. My burnout had put me in a state where no amount of extra income could move the needle on my well-being. The science was clear. I was digging for answers in the wrong mine. I was trying to solve a spiritual and biological deficit with a financial surplus. I wasn't just tired, my brain's hardware was being rewired for anxiety. This is the overachiever spiral. As your performance slips from burnout, your instinct is to push harder, which only deepens the neurological damage. I had chased a number in a bank account and, in the process, had fundamentally broken the intricate machinery of my own body and mind. It became painfully clear I'd been asking the wrong question. The question wasn't, how do I make more money? It was, what is all this money for? Section 3. The solution. The new definition of wealth, the trifecta of health, time, and money. This realization was the start of my true education in wealth. I came to see that real, sustainable wealth isn't a single pillar of money. It's a stable, three-legged stool. The legs are health, time, and money. If any leg is too short, or missing entirely, the whole thing becomes unstable and will inevitably collapse. I was a man sitting on a one-legged stool made of cash, wobbling over a chasm of despair. This isn't just a philosophy, it's a framework for designing your life. We need to stop seeing these as competing priorities and start seeing them as an interconnected system. Let's break them down, not as ideals, but as tangible, non-negotiable assets. Pillar 1. Health capital, the irreversible currency. I now call health the irreversible currency. You can lose all your money and make it back. You can waste your time and reclaim some of it by changing your priorities. But if you fundamentally break your health, you can never fully buy it back. Chronic illness and permanent damage are debts no amount of money can ever repay. Investing in your health, through exercise, nutrition, sleep, and mental health practices, provides a return on investment that dwarfs any stock market gain. It boosts cognitive function, enhances resilience, and regulates stress. For a high performer, health isn't a luxury, it's a prerequisite for sustained success. For me, rebuilding my health capital was step 1. I started small. I stopped answering emails after 7 p.m. I scheduled 30-minute walks and treated them like board meetings. I hired a nutritionist, not as an indulgence, but as a strategic investment. The change was staggering. Within months, my blood pressure normalized. The headaches vanished. But most importantly, the mental fog lifted. I could think clearly again. My creativity returned. I was a better leader and a better partner, all because I started treating my health as my primary asset. Pillar 2. Time affluence, the ultimate modern luxury. The second leg is time. We've been conditioned to see time as a resource to be filled, optimized, and monetized. We suffer from time famine, the pervasive feeling of being constantly rushed and overwhelmed. This feeling of time scarcity is a powerful predictor of unhappiness and anxiety. True time wealth isn't about having empty hours, it's about autonomy and attention. It's the freedom to choose how you spend your days. It's the ability to be fully present in the moments that matter, without the nagging pull of your phone or your to-do list. This was a revolutionary concept for me. I had always used my money to buy things. Now, I learned to use my money to buy time. I hired a virtual assistant to handle scheduling. I subscribed to a meal delivery service, freeing up hours each week. I automated bill payments and delegated tasks at work that didn't require my unique skills. Every hour I bought back was an hour I could reinvest in my health, my relationships, or deep, focused work. This isn't laziness, it's strategic allocation of your most finite resource. Time is the one asset you are guaranteed to run out of. Using money to claw some of it back is one of the highest leverage investments you can make. Pillar 3. Money, the enabler, not the goal. And that brings us to the third leg, money. Notice it's the last one I'm discussing. That's intentional. In the old model, money was the goal. In the new model, money is the tool. It's the powerful enabler for the other two pillars. Its primary purpose isn't just to accumulate, but to facilitate a life rich in health and time. Money is a phenomenal servant but a tyrannical master. When it's your master, it drives you to burnout and locks you in golden handcuffs. When it's your servant, it becomes a powerful engine for a life well lived. So how do we use money as a tool? First, you use it to build a foundation of security. Money has its most powerful effect on happiness when it lifts people out of financial stress, providing for basic needs and creating a safety net. Second, as we've discussed, you use money to buy time. Every dollar spent on outsourcing a disliked task is a dollar invested in your well-being. In one survey of over 800 millionaires, almost half spent no money at all on outsourcing tasks they disliked. This is a massive, untapped opportunity for a better life hiding in plain sight. Third, you use money to enhance your health. A personal trainer, higher quality food, regular massages, these aren't frivolous expenses, they are strategic investments in your human capital. And finally, you use money to fund experiences and relationships, which provide more lasting happiness than material possessions. Travel, new skills, shared activities with loved ones. These create memories that the hedonic treadmill can't easily erode. So let's pause here. Look at your own life right now through the lens of this three-legged stool. Is it balanced? Is one leg dangerously short? What does true wealth look like for you, personally? Go down to the comments right now and share your definition. What is one thing you could do this week to invest in your health capital? What is one way you could use money to buy back an hour of your time? Your story could be the spark someone else needs. I'll be reading and responding to as many as I can. And if this is resonating with you, if you're ready to stop chasing empty metrics and start building a life of true, sustainable wealth, make sure you hit that subscribe button and join us on the Wealth Saga channel. We release videos every week with evidence-backed strategies for designing a life that is truly rich. Section 4. The PID Framework, your action plan for true wealth. Understanding the three pillars is the what. Now we need the how. I developed a simple, actionable framework I call PID: prioritize, invest, design. P is for prioritize health. This is non-negotiable. Health is the foundation. If it fails, your ability to enjoy your time or even earn money crumbles. Prioritizing health means moving it from the nice-to-have list to the must-do list. Your first action step is a 7-day health audit. For 1 week, track a few key metrics. Not to judge yourself, but to gather data. Your body is your most important enterprise. Know your numbers. Hours of sleep, your best guess at actual sleep. And minutes of movement, anything that isn't sitting. Water intake, be honest. Servings of processed versus whole foods, a simple tally. Minutes of mind-off time, no screens, no podcasts. Just being. At the end of the week, look at the data. Where are the leaks? The results might be shocking, but now you have a baseline. From here, set one tiny, achievable goal. Maybe it's a 15-minute walk at lunch. Or turning off all screens 1 hour before bed. Start small and protect your health capital with the ferocity it deserves. List every recurring task in your life that you dislike or that doesn't require your unique genius. Grocery shopping? Cleaning? Mowing the lawn? Is scheduling appointments? Doing laundry? Answering routine emails? D is for design for meaning. This is the final step, where you intentionally direct your new health and time toward a life of purpose. It's not enough to have free time. You need to fill it with what aligns with your deepest values. Your third action step is a 90-day time budget. Just like a financial budget, you're going to proactively allocate your time before the world steals it. Open your calendar and block out non-negotiable appointments for the next 90 days. Health blocks. Schedule your workouts, checkups, meditation. Make them recurring events. Relationship blocks. Schedule date nights. Schedule a weekly, device-free family dinner. Schedule a call with an old friend. If it's not scheduled, it's not real. Purpose blocks. Schedule time for a hobby, a passion project, or a spiritual practice. This is your time to connect with what truly lights you up. The journey from that man to who I am today wasn't about giving up ambition or renouncing money. It was about redefining success itself. It was about learning to see wealth not as a single number, but as a dynamic, balanced ecosystem of health, time, and money. So I'll leave you with this question. Are you building a life that looks good on paper, or one that feels good to live? The choice is yours. And the work of building true wealth can begin today. Thank you for joining me on the Wealth Saga. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your own definition of wealth in the comments below. Let's start a revolution, not of finance, but of fulfillment.